Oh man, I can see this is quite hard. It's not easy, is it? No wonder you're up here for hours on end.
And the bumming.
Bumming.
I knew that was going to be the next one.
Okay, let's actually get down to it.
Warning: this podcast may contain subjects and language that some may... I ballsed it up. I know.
Cleves.
I gave you one chance.
Cleves, shut up.
Oh, you didn't get it right the first time. Okay. Warning: this podcast may contain language that some listeners may find offensive.
In fact, that was much better than yours because she didn't fuck it up. I mean, she did pace it out, but...
I never fuck it up.
Oh, you have fucked it up plenty of times.
I was re-edit yours to make sure it looks like you fucked up a million times.
At least I didn't say viewers. Blinky.
Oh, I'm sorry. What if someone's watching it on YouTube? I'll say what?
Yeah, but you're watching...
I'll say what?
You're watching a blank screen.
Still watching it.
Not watching you on a bean.
Arguably, any Blinky's watching a blank screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not watching you playing with your beans.
This was a mistake. Welcome to the Seesaw Podcast with T and Cleves.
Each week, offering up a delayed perspective on life. Can we start now?
Okay. Cleves, do you wanna do it?
No, we've already done that. Welcome to a brand new episode of Seesaw Podcast with T, Cleves, and we have a guest who's live and keeps ruining the takes constantly, and that is Mrs. T, not married to B.A. Baracus, of course. Yeah, he pities the fool who would be his wife.
Are you happy with yourself?
Not particularly, no.
That's cute.
I felt like you committed to it at that point.
Yeah.
You know, those things I was going to say, I thought, I can't say that.
You can say anything on this podcast. We've already pissed off Access Card and a lot of other people. You can say what you fucking want.
If it's really bad, we'll bleep it.
So before we acknowledge our guest, Cleves has things.
Yeah, fine. I thought it would be a good idea to get her on, but regret is seeping in pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I'm just quite insulted, actually.
Good.
Considering the amount of times that I end up being brought up in your podcast, you know, with regards to... Podcast. There you go.
I mean, that's something completely different. That's sexy. Welcome to the podcast featuring Medusa and Prometheus, the Greek gods of fun.
Seems like a group you don't want to be a part of.
Hey, it's a sexy group.
The kind of group that thinks they're cool, but they're really not.
Seesaw Podcast.
Welcome to the Seesaw Podcast.
Hang on.
Established 2020.
What dizzying height are we today?
We are coming to you live-ish from the dizzying heights of 222.
All the ducks.
All the
That
ducks.
is a lot of ducks.
That is a lot of ducks.
A lot of ducking going on.
So, welcome, my wife, Natasha, Mrs. T. Thank you for coming on. I mean, we're regretting it every second.
I feel insulted, to be honest. Like, you know,
You should
taking my time out of my working week to
Oh
come
yeah,
up
your
here.
busy day that you
Your
had going on.
busy-
What is it you've done today? You've done nothing, followed by the pub, followed by this.
I've done my makeup, gone and had a few drinks.
Oh, you
Yeah.
pampered yourself,
I did.
followed by drinks. Oh, I'm sorry.
On my day off.
Did you build any houses for impoverished children?
No, I don't work with children, I work with old people, so...
Yeah, we
They're the same as children, they still shit themselves.
True, but...
Out of curiosity, what's the worst thing you've ever gone into a residence room?
It probably just has to... Oh, no. There's also a load of shit, but then there's also a woman was
Well,
puking...
like shit everywhere.
Everywhere, I mean, like, this guy
Like
was...
the walls, like diarrhea
Oh,
spray paint.
I mean, it was... I walked in and I had to walk out for a second. That's the kind of amount that it was. It's unreal.
Was that the worst?
Like a brown Niagara.
Pretty much. But that was just like the worst in that case. The worst as in like scary worst is when a woman puked blood all on me.
Exorcist
That
style.
was it was scary. Well, it's scary when someone pukes blood, it's scary.
How do you know she just not drank a load of Bloody Marys and was just a little bit fucked up?
No, well, it just turned out she was actually just drinking her own blood.
Huh.
Her nose.
I'm not quite sure if you're being serious.
No, her nose was bleeding from the inside, so technically she was kind of drinking her blood.
Not as funny as I first thought.
No.
I was kind of hoping for a story involving vampires and maybe Wesley Snipes showing up at some point.
Yeah, so that's my job.
Have you ever woken up in a pool of tea shit?
No, just farts.
Thanks. Thanks, I'm glad.
Especially after you've had a night out drinking. Jesus Christ.
Thanks, I'm
snoring and farts.
That's the price you pay for being married, though, isn't it?
Mm.
You know, you got to eat them up.
No.
Okay, you're breathing in.
Okay, so why have we got my wife here on this podcast? I'm going to put myself out there again and say this was not my idea. So if it bombs,
hang on a minute. This was the idea when you first started this. It was a topic that you had.
You'd love to cover yourself when it's
that
not your
you'd
topic.
explained about it at first because you'd already asked me about it, and obviously you've gone on. You've Billy Big Ballsed it all up to the dizzying heights of 222, and
It gets higher each week.
It does.
Don't think you're special.
Well, I quite like all the twos. I like a good ducking. Anyway,
Anyway, more to the point, what
it was your idea.
To we live and die as a team. It's not my idea, so
well,
fuck you
apparently
guys.
if the wife's involved, it's something different.
you are right. This was something that we pitched at the beginning, sort of an idea, a concept of what it's like to live and sort of share a life, i.e. marriage partnership, with a disabled person. This is interesting. It's on the other side of the coin, because of course I always live in darkness and sadness.
The world's smallest violin.
Is that the violin?
Do you know,
Yeah.
you thought this might be like a bit more even with Tasha being on. However, it's really just two people to rag on you rather than just me.
I know.
No wonder you were reluctant.
I'm going to get Martin Austin back on. At least he was on my side.
He wasn't on your side.
No, he wasn't.
I wasn't going to sit there as a guest like in Mastermind. What is like being this? What is like being this?
That being said, getting the perspective, I think for some of these first questions, I'm going to hand it over to Cleves because it'd be weird me asking these questions, especially how I put them down in the show notes.
Okay, let's begin at the beginning, shall we? When you met him, what were your thoughts? Did you think he was a prick off the bat, or did that come with time?
Well, the thing is, when we first... Oh, hang on.
Did you know he was blind when you first met him? Did he tell you?
Yes,
Oh, did he tell you in advance? Or
Yes, because it's something that he was worried about.
Okay,
He
that's-
didn't
that's
tell
good
me
of you, Pete.
straight away.
And that didn't put you off?
No, it did put me off because we started talking first before we'd met. We'd chatted we were chatting for quite a while beforehand, and then we'd planned to meet up, and then he messaged to say, "Oh, I need to tell you this."
So he slipped it in last minute.
Yes, basically, yeah.
The blindness thing, that is.
Yeah, he slipped it in last minute. So at first I was like, I say taken aback, but like, oh, okay. But I thought, well, we got on beforehand, and it's one of those things. Well, you still go on and meet, and thing is, we got on straight away. We like similar things, and and it isn't anything that. Well, when we get together, we just kind of just chatted as if nothing was amiss. I don't know if that's the right word.
I think
but...
one of the things that I made an effort, if I remember, like when I dropped that bomb on you, I thought to myself, like, okay, I need to show that this isn't a big deal. And that's when we met. I came to you, even though it wasn't particularly close and a bit of a pain in the arse journey. It was like, okay, this is a thing, but I'm going to show you that this is so much not a thing that I will come to you. Like, I'm not going to expect you to sort of like come to me and like make it easier on my life. I was like, no, it's not a big deal. Like,
Right, so you weren't being a gentleman, you were doing it to prove a point.
Yeah, basically.
Bit of both. I mean, I wore a hat.
What kind of hat?
Oh, it was your trilby, wasn't it?
Oh.
Hang on. Let me just say what he's dressed in. He was dressed in his trilby. He was doing his black pipeline jeans, so they were tight as fuck.
I have
with a
chicken
white
legs.
with a white shirt and a waistcoat.
Wow, you went all out.
Yeah.
Were you going to play snooker later on that evening?
And
I was going to violate you.
yeah. And I still remember your aftershave. You were wearing red Lacoste. Yeah.
Oh,
Classic.
classic.
Yeah. Classic fragrance of the
any
time.
18-year-old.
I'm pretty sure I
Yeah.
had some at the time. Yeah.
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 So after
What-
hearing about it, I wasn't put off. I was like, oh no, hang on, ghost you.
Did you notice it on your first date?
Well, the only thing when you look at you when meeting you for the first time, you don't necessarily think that there is anything wrong. The only thing I did notice is your head bobbles a bit. I think especially when you're focusing, I don't mean that, but when you're focusing on something, like for example, you're looking at your screen, your head kind of goes side to side a little bit. And I don't mean that. Don't. See, I don't want to be like, but it does. I'm sorry. And your glasses, but they were thick. They were
This really
thick
is the
glasses.
Can of Worms episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We call them ant killers.
But otherwise, and then obviously you have your nystagmus, which I now know, didn't know at the time, but that was a thing, but yeah. Other than that, no.
Other than the big three things you outlined.
Yeah.
No, not at
No.
all. Apart from the crippledness of you.
Because I still remember, because you got off the wrong side of the tracks, so I had to go find you because you got lost.
I got off at the wrong side, and I was aware of catfishing, and I was on the other side. So then I phoned you up and said, "Oh well, like I'm on the other side." He's like, "I'll come over and see you." And then literally 5 minutes later, some old woman comes out, and and she starts walking towards me, smiling like, "Oh fuck no, when's the next train?" And she just went, "Good morning," and just walked past me.
Hi, I'm Tash.
I was like, "Oh, thank fuck, it was not her."
It obviously didn't put you off because you...
No,
Went
we
on
had a
some
really
more
good
dates.
day. Went round the park. You bought me a pair of shoes because the shoes that I was wearing just crippled me.
I think that's also something that I realised. I thought that I was self-conscious going into it. You wore shoes which were ridiculous and crippled you, and within 10 minutes when we were in the park, you just took them off and went, "You fucking piece of shit," and just started walking barefoot through just the town because your shoes were killing you that much. I thought, oh, she's a freak as well.
Wow.
Well, I think we didn't really plan what we were going to do. I think we're probably both nervous. We didn't plan the day. I didn't think we were going to be walking around the park for 2 hours. But no, it didn't put me off. No, we had a good time.
What did you do from there? Obviously you went on more dates. Did you eventually go to Tees?
The next time I went to yours, obviously on the train, I wasn't driving at the time. Yeah, and then we went out and saw where you were living. And then
Then you came to Hull.
I did.
That was a big move. How did you decide this one's the one for me? Blindness or not?
Well,
Let's move to Hull.
we talked all the time, like every single day. Oh man, so many people tried to put me off you. Like, not in any of that
Wow.
sense, but for the
Because
fact
of the
that...
blindness or...
No, because it had been 4 months.
Did you tell them that I was disabled?
I actually, generally, hand on heart, can't remember if I did or not. I mean, this is going back, 13 years?
13, yeah.
So, So I generally can't remember. But it's the fact that we've been together for 4 years, and then you asked me
4 months.
to go... Sorry, 4 months. And you asked me to go with you.
It wouldn't just move in
And
with
I
me,
was
it would
going-
move north.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. Well, considering I was living in Bournemouth.
South coast of the UK.
Yeah, right on the south coast. So then going up north, literally, would be classed as north. So it was a big trek. If it didn't work out, then, it was a big trek. But
You left
I
a
had-
job as well. I
was only working at Sainsbury's. It's hardly,
It was still a
I
job.
was only 20 working at Sainsbury's cafe. And I just felt that this was a step that I think I wanted to take for me, because I'd been looking after a lot of other people at that time, and I had to do something for myself, so I did.
And that's when you did the best thing in your life and met me.
Yeah. That was second thoughts. Because, yeah, then we moved into a house and I met Cleves for the first time. 13 years, Cleves. It's a rough time.
What was it like after 4 months moving in with T?
I think
It was, firstly, it was a house with, 4 other people from university, and you had to share a room with T. It wasn't a massive room.
no.
And then, you had other people knocking about.
It was an experience. Oh, we had some funny experiences. Warhammer.
You make it sound like we played Warhammer. We didn't.
We did not play Warhammer, but
We're nerds,
we watched.
but we're not that much nerds.
Oh God, no.
Short stories with Tash and T. Living together with nerds at university. Short stories with Tash and T. Short stories with Tash and T. Warning, story may not be short.
So we came back. We'd gone shopping to, I think it was Lidl down the road, and we were coming back, me and Tash, and we had all of our shopping bags, and each to their own. But we came in the front door, and one of our roommates has got friends over, and they're playing Warhammer. So they've gotten some boxes, like a TV box and stuff like that. And they've sort of set it up on the polystyrene cutouts to make this big board in the front room. It takes up the entire front room to the point we're stepping over them. They don't make any effort to move either. And we're stepping over them. And they're still carrying on playing. We're just sort of some just passing through. Which is fair enough. So as they're playing it, they're doing takes 20 damage or whatever. I don't know how Warhammer works. But then one of the guys is doing all of the sound effects. He's it's like an orc walks up, he goes like that. He goes 20 damage, like that. He's doing all of the sound effects. We get through to the kitchen, which is adjacent to the living room. So she puts her bags down and just we had a downstairs bathroom. She just goes straight into the bathroom, and she has a very loud laugh, closes the door, and starts pissing herself. The room goes quiet as she's in there for 2 minutes, can't catch her breath, pissing herself about the nerdiness of these talks. And then she had to come back out and help me put the shopping away. And they're still in silence as she just basically...
I didn't know that they heard me laughing.
She ridiculed them without knowing. Just pissed herself.
Who wouldn't laugh at that? That was just...
I went stone-faced.
Standard nerd!
I went stone-faced and you just broke everything.
Oh, it was just too funny.
Yeah.
They were at university, man.
They were in their 20s. And that's fine. I get it. But this was not a time where nerd culture was Big Bang Theory wasn't out yet, so...
They were
nerd
using
culture.
everything. They were using the cushions from the sofas. This game board had some height. It was a reasonable side lounge. We had to climb over to get to the kitchen. So this is the kind of effort that they went in to play this game.
Yeah.
Fair
Play to the boys. Fair play to them, but...
Well, I like that kind of thing, but that was just standard nerd.
It was funny as fuck.
Oh,
It was the noises.
Yeah, that finished me off. I had to move. At least I didn't laugh in their face. I could have laughed in their... Well,
pretty much did.
Literally, it wasn't really until now that I didn't realise that... You never told me that they heard me.
Oh, they fucking heard.
Yeah, see, I'm only finding out
And they
now
went
that they
dead
heard me.
quiet and just
They carried on playing.
silently rolling their dice and just mumbling, I'll move to here.
I never spoke with him anyway. He was dirty.
That was a short story with Tash and T. Tash, you're ridiculing a bunch of lame Warhammer geeks. Short stories with Tash and T. The story clocked in at 3 minutes 15 seconds.
Genuinely dirty.
Come on, he used to walk around in his boxes. I saw a lot of his bollocks.
I didn't realise you were looking.
Yeah, well, I've not seen you walk around in your boxes.
Yeah, it's going to be stealthy.
See him hanging on the line.
What, his bollocks?
Not his bollocks.
And just hangs them out.
His different
you dry
styles of
yours?
boxes.
I'm going to dry mine. A hair dryer with a lot of friction.
Alright, so after a year then you actually moved into a flat together.
Yes.
What was that like? Living with him? As a blinky, that is.
Yeah, not me, as an actual person.
Did you notice his blindness around the house? Did you have to do certain things? Did you have to adapt, basically, is what I'm asking?
Yeah, it's mainly me not leaving my shit lying around. I kind of still have to battle with that now, to be honest. I have.
13 years.
Yeah, well, I do it without even realising. Like, leaving make sure I move my bag out the way. And then I'd obviously start to learn how bad your sight was.
Well, it did get worse as well. It has been getting worse.
It's been getting worse. I took you to your appointments, to your Moorfields and stuff.
On that, the first time we went to the hospital, you took me to the hospital for my annual checkup, you actually saw the back of my eyes, didn't
I had
you?
to hold your eye open so the guy could get a proper photo.
So
Why don't you hold your own eye, you lazy fuck?
I had to hold like little grip things.
Oh.
When I have, like, because I had to have like really high def like photographs on the back of my eyes. So imagine staring into the sun, like it's that bright, and you cannot close your eyelids because they need to get like good pictures, and you've got to move your eye like to the left, right, up and down. Try not closing your eyes. It's impossible. You can't not close your eyes.
Your eyes are dilated at this point because
Exactly.
they put the
eyes are dilated
drops
as
in your
well,
eyes.
so you're super sensitive to light, and they basically take a really high, like a stupidly bright light, and it's like, we're just gonna put this right in your eye. Do not blink. It's like you can't not. It's your instinct to, and it hurts. It gets to a point where it goes from uncomfortable to painful. At that
And you
point,
are cranky after your appointments. Like,
You know what
we have
happens?
to walk through London and you've just had all of that, which I understandably why you're cranky,
Everything
but
is
you are a
purple.
grumpy bastard.
Yeah. Everything is purple. After that happens, I don't know what it is with the light reacting to your eyes. Everything is purple. It's Vimto vision. And you get pissed off of everything being purple. And it's like, when's it going to wear off? But when you saw like the back of my eyes though, like how was that?
It's just all black. In the actual photo, because I go to appointments with some of the people I look after to go to diabetic eye screenings, which is kind of similar, but obviously not quite as high tech as what you have to go to. And it's just a normal eye, a normal, fully functioning eye. So then to see yours is literally, so you got the actual eye and all the veins and everything, but then yours is just black. Parts of it is just black. There's nothing there.
But how
It was
that?
scary. It was scary, to be honest. After, because it's like I have to go to these appointments with you, and obviously you're feeling quite fragile at that time, and then I have to kind of make you, kind of comfort you. But then in the same instance, some of the stuff that they tell me, it is upsetting for me as well. But then, obviously, you're the one going through it.
Was it scary in the sense that you're concerned for him, or scary in the sense of, oh, fuck, what have I got myself into here?
I mean, I've not got to lie. When it comes to when I think in the future, if your eyesight does really go
You're
completely,
gone, you're out.
No, I'm not going to go. I'm not that
I'll take
guy.
the car and drive.
No, it's like, see ya.
That'll never stop.
Isn't it? It is scary because how we live now is not going to be the same. It's what more support you need in your day-to-day life, and you obviously think about income as well, because will I be able to work, because I work a lot of hours now, so when it comes to that, like, that will probably have to not be the case, because obviously I would need to be there for you as well, and then, yeah, there's a lot of...
Do you think he's adapted over the years, though?
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
Do you not think they would
for
continue to adapt then, based on that?
I suppose, yeah, but not straight away. It will do, but obviously it takes time. You don't just adapt just like that, do you?
Depends how good you are. So what about when you decided to get married then? Obviously the blindness was
Yeah.
that a thing for you?
To be fair,
you were just talking about it just then, like, it might not be the same going down, like, down the line. Did that ever cross your mind when getting married? When T said, hey, you want to get married? And you were like, are you going to be blind in a few years, or what's the situation there?
No, but then if you're in a relationship and you're thinking of that immediately before actually going in, I'm sorry, but you're a selfish prick. At the end of the day, you live in the here and the now. If you're with someone, you've been with someone for that, and there's more to life than just, what that person can do for you. At the end of the day, when me and Tony got together, I've always been, I've been the main breadwinner. I've been the one who brought in a lot of the money. Technically, you're on more than me now. But you know, if that was a case, then I'll probably be like, yeah, sorry, too much effort for me. You know,
Wow.
I'm not going to be in it. But that's what some people are like. Some people are just shallow like that. But we got on, like, and but at that point, I couldn't imagine life without Tony. So, of course, I wouldn't be thinking. It never even crossed my mind, to be honest. It didn't cross my mind at all.
We thought this was going to be the Can of Worms episode, but really this is the T, you're doing all right, mate, episode.
It's good to hear.
Yeah!
Because, you know, we get on and
Vindication!
Yes!
No, because we know at the end of the day, yes, okay, there are times when it's can be. Well, no, it's not even really times that are really challenging. Sometimes I forget that you're even a blinky, and then you do something stupid, and then I'm like, oh, there you go.
Oh no, that's how I was the Worms episode.
Yeah.
Is it like when we were in Hull, for example? So we hadn't been together that long. I left the chair out, and you literally fell all the way over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you know stuff like that. It's
All I'm
like
hearing there is that was your fault.
well, no, I think the chair was there because we were at a house party at the time, weren't we?
Well, I'm hearing it's comedy gold.
It was funny. It was funny. There are times, was it when we were living in Aldershot? We were walking back and it was Christmas time, and you were holding a frame and everything, so you were going off in front of me.
Holding a frame?
We bought a picture frame.
Oh, I thought you meant like a Zimmer frame, like he's
Oh,
just pushing
no.
one along.
No, holding an actual frame. We were walking through a forecourt of a petrol station.
This sounds
And-
like such a skanky night out.
No,
I got a
this
picture
was during
frame, I'm
the
walking through
day.
a forecourt of a petrol station.
Yeah, well, because he lived past a forecourt of a petrol station. So we were just coming home from the shop during the day.
Oh, I thought you meant it like a night out. Like you've had a few
No.
beers, for some reason you've bought a picture frame.
No, we've been Christmas shopping. We got this
Yeah.
frame. I think it was a gift from my mum.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he walked across it and then he slipped over with a cane, so obviously people could see that he's blind. So he'd fallen over and he'd been walking in front of me. I was stood behind, pissing
I
myself
hit
laughing. I
hit
was
fucking
laughing
hard.
so hard. And this guy actually got out of his car from the forecourt, went over to Tony asking if he was alright, and I was there pissing myself laughing. I must have looked like the worst person in the world. And this is the thing. I can't. If someone falls over, I laugh. I'm sorry.
How was the
That's why she
frame?
watched the Paralympics. The frame was perfect.
Yeah, I know, you saved that one and you did well there.
That's the main thing.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, so things that happen to you, that if someone was looking in, that I'm a bitch. But, you know, I live with you, so... You know, when we first got together, something happened. I may have been concerned, but that soon wore off.
Great.
I like it, you know. Except when you hit your head, sometimes you get a bit pissed off with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, though, you do hit your head and it is scary, and you end up like, should we go and get that scene too?
Yeah. So I'm going to throw a question out there. Do you have any concerns for raising kids?
One thing that does come to my head, though, because obviously I work with old people when I clean them and things, is if you have to clean a dirty bum. You know, you need to make sure you get all of that shit.
It's got to get in there.
Otherwise they're gonna... That sound... You can't say that when talking about children.
My kids.
That
That's
doesn't make
worse.
it any better!
Sometimes you've got a rubber glove, you get a hanky,
rubber glove?
and you've got to go in there, you've got to make sure they're clean.
I have a rubber glove at work, but you don't have a rubber glove with your own kids. But I mean, like, making sure that they're clean, because otherwise you can get a rash. I'm probably always going to get the shitty nappies. I've kind of come to terms with that. But then...
That's not too bad. Are you not concerned that your kid also might be blind?
No,
well,
that
we
can't
went
happen.
to Moorfield. At first, that was something that I was concerned about. But we went to Moorfields, and they said that the
Eye
gene that
hospital.
he had... Oh, yeah, Moorfields Eye Hospital in London. They said that because of the gene, that it won't affect our kids. And that's something that we asked him when we were there. And they
The
said
black
it wouldn't.
drainpipe genes.
Yep.
Eh?
That's the callback to your first date.
Oh, okay.
If they're blind, it won't have anything to do with me. It'll be
Checkbox.
completely like... We can't say our children would not have blindness, but it will not be due to me. We know that.
Oh, it would be my fault. Well, the thing is, the reason why you got your condition is your mum had this gene, your dad had this gene, and then you were the one who was...
But you don't. You don't have this gene, so it won't happen.
Well, I don't know if I don't have this gene.
Well, no, they tested you. That's what they
No,
said.
they didn't. They just said that it wouldn't happen.
You gave blood.
No, I didn't. They never did it because they said it wouldn't be the case.
Oh, so maybe.
Yeah, but then it's like with anyone, and you can end up having some kind of disability. It's just...
Okay, let me ask you
Roll
this.
the dice.
If you knew that your kid was going to turn out like T, would you take the chance? And let me ask you the same question to you, T. Would you want a kid with the same condition as you?
Yes.
Well, it's not something you'd want, but it's something that... No, I don't mean like that, but you wouldn't wish that on someone.
No, you
But
wouldn't.
what I'm saying, if you had a kid, and
I've done all right.
you would not have kids thinking, oh no, I don't want to do that just in case.
Mm.
At the end of the day, you've done all right. Like you say, you're living a normal life. Your parents were good raising you up. The fact that they didn't model you, I think that's the worst thing that someone can do. If someone's blind, oh, let me do that for you, let me do that for you. Whereas your parents encouraged you to do stuff yourself, in which case you can do stuff yourself.
Yeah.
You went to university, you've got a job, and you know how to make a ham sandwich.
That's the crux of blind life.
But then one thing that does worry me as well when you go out with them, I'm afraid that that does worry me a little bit. You have a guide dog and then you have a baby in the other hand.
Yeah,
People are going to be shitting themselves.
Yeah, that's what the guide dog's for. So you strap him to my chest.
If you have to go to co-op, get some milk and bread.
Put them in
Got
the
a
backpack.
baby strapped to your chest with a guide dog.
Yeah.
Put them in a backpack, though.
Fine.
That it will take time for me to not be scared of that.
Put it this way, all bollards are nut height. As long as the baby's above that, they're getting brained, are they?
And less kids you'll be able to have.
Win-win.
Only child.
So to summarise then, no real regrets.
No, I don't have any regrets.
If you were to say to anyone out there, because especially on sort of like Twitter and social media, what I've seen recently, is there's a lot of sort of talk about whether it's unethical to date a disabled person, whether disabled people... I know a lot of disabled people who are also involved with other disabled people. It's not so common for a disabled person to be with a normie.
I'm a normie.
You are a normie. So if you were to sort of like give any advice to anyone out there, let's say they've met someone, they have a disability, it might not be sight-based, it might be anything, it might show up in a wheelchair or might be deaf. Have you got any advice like for anyone who might be in that situation and might be having thoughts of, can I handle this? Or do I like them, but can I handle this situation?
At the end of the day, you just have to think about the person. Obviously, the person who has the disability, they're always going to be, I think at first, and I can imagine you were, self-conscious about your condition when you were first with me and thinking, oh, what is she thinking? Or, and things like that. You have to just be in the... I know it's going to sound a bit cheesy, but you have to be in the moment. Like I say, we got on really well. We had a lot in common and we just had a normal relationship for us, and you just kind of build it up as you go along. There's more to being in the relationship than, what you think should be the case. Some people who obviously have a disability, because you end up being in that community, you end up talking with other people with that disability. It just so happened that we got talking and I wasn't scared off. But I would say, yeah, just be in the moment and don't think about it. Just be with that person and not think of, what effort it's going to be in that relationship, because that's a dick move.
Essentially then, if you like the person, the disability is somewhat insignificant.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone on a second date. I would have been like, delete.
That's what she's praying for now.
No, wait till he gets that life insurance.
I can annul this marriage certificate.
What I'll probably say as well is that, like, if you're with a disabled person, they might need a bit of help now and again, but you don't need to feel like you're on care duty 24/7. Like Tasha has alluded to, there's times where she'll forget that I need a guide, like when she's had a beer, and then she's like, oh shit, yeah, you do need a guide. So,
You're just standing there.
yeah, and I understand that. And
I'm like, oh, sorry.
But that's the thing, you're not a full-time carer. If you want to be with someone, they'll understand that you're human. and that sometimes they'll forget, and it's fine. And like, if you're disabled, your partner isn't there to accommodate your needs. They're not your fucking carer. Be receptive of it. Just don't think of it as an issue.
Right. You good for the week?
Yeah, I think this has been really informative. I mean, now I'm going to go drink myself to death after getting life insurance. And yeah, this has been enlightening.
It's alright, we're not getting a divorce.
Next week, we'll have my mother to tell me how good a child I was.
He was an asshole.
Until then.
Until then, have a glorious day.
Au revoir.
What the fuck was
I
that?
don't know.
Thanks for listening to the Seesaw Podcast.
You can find us on Facebook at Seesaw Podcast, Twitter, Seesaw Pod. You can email us at seesawpodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on TikTok and Instagram at Seesaw Podcast or Seesaw Pod, depending on which one we want. But get us on the other places. This podcast was recorded in front of a blind audience.
Do you treat all of your viewers this way? Your viewers? Your guests?
Okay, edit
Tricky,
that.
innit?
It is tricky, yeah.
Edit that in. Remember, Chris, you agreed to this.
I want a divorce.